the cloud. So,
I only record to the cloud. It's so
well,
much easier, April.
I know it's probably smarter. But anyways, we're going ahead and start today's session. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tech Bits. Today's presenter is Cleo Mal, and she'll be sharing with us about a fabulous app called NearPod. So let's tell you a little bit about Cleo. She's a great person individually. She also
Right.
did my baby shower, y'all, and she hardly knew me. She was just amazing. But she is a level 3 administrator with 15 or more years of experience in education, K through 12. And the last year, 8 years, she's been an instructional coach. So she's native New Mexican, and she holds a bachelor's degree from UNM and a master's from GCU and ASU as a curriculum specialist and her educational administration license as well. She's passionate. She has a big heart, and she always wants the best. And we cherish her as an asset here at Region 9. And right now, currently, she is the state coordinator for the dossier process. So she answers probably over 200 emails each day, or tries to, and just is involved with that reestablishment or redevelopment of the dossier process. So we're blessed to have her, and we're excited for her time today. So I hope you enjoy it. And Cleo, it's all yours.
Thank you, Miss April. I appreciate it.
You're
It's great to
welcome.
have everybody here this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to get started. I will start by sharing my screen. We're going to be visiting the topic of NearPod today. NearPod is a whole new world to me. I first heard about it when my nephew was in class and his teacher told him, we're going to be working on NearPod. NearPod. He's a senior in Los Lunas High School. And I'm like, wow. So I would listen in and I would hear and I would hear how the teacher would get the students engaged. And I'm like, that is amazing. That's a great tool to keep student engagement. So when I was approached about doing a tech bit, I'm like, I think I want to learn more about NearPod. So let's talk about NearPod. And let's talk about what a teacher can do with it. I think as a teacher myself, and as an educator in general, I think it's really important that we learn those little skills and strategies along with what our students are learning, but at a different level and perspective, because we want to make sure we're able to do what we need to do to provide what they need. And so as I go through and present, I'm always giving different ideas and stuff. So you might just take note of those. Today's session objectives are we're going to understand the basics of NearPod, and these are just the basics. I actually look forward to doing more with NearPod and maybe getting into it a little bit deeper and doing all the fun stuff that NearPod has available to do. We're going to gain ideas to use it in the classroom, so we'll give you 5 different tips to use it in the classroom, and then we're going to walk through NearPod and what does NearPod look like. Okay, our expectations for today, if we stop and talk, we'll be talking about our classrooms, NearPod in the classroom, if we've ever used it or if we plan to. If you have any questions or ideas that you'd like to share, please just go ahead and raise your hand, type in the chat, or just speak up. There's only a few of us today, so feel free to do that. Movement, as always, at your own discretion, and we're just here to participate as a team. So, is NearPod? So NearPod is an application. It's also an add-on through Google Suites. It is a tool that will help you bring your presentation to a whole new level. And when I say a whole new level, it is amazing what it can do. It actually helps teachers make a lesson very interactive. So like I said, my nephew was, taking this AP class, and the teacher would say, okay, guys, we're not moving on. Everybody has answered this. And I'm like, well, how does he know? And it's NearPod. He has control of it. And so they will not go on into the next slide until everybody has answered. And he'll say, I've got 3 more people I'm waiting on. I've got 2 more people. So it really makes that engagement level go up to where students have to participate because that teacher's not moving on until they do. So it helps enrich the presentations. It helps curriculum. There's a lot of interactive features. Some of the features that I've seen, just standing over his shoulder and watching the teacher present it would be polls, adding in Kahoots, drawing stuff, adding videos to the lessons. The collaboration tool is really neat. I saw the teacher do it with some short story they were doing, and story they were doing they had to answer some questions, and it popped up and everybody had to answer, and so the teacher didn't have the students names shown, because whenever you make your NearPod you can choose to show them or not to, and so he chose not to, and so he's like, okay, I'm waiting for 3 more kids, and so until those students posted an answer he would not move forward. So it was really neat. So then the nice thing is that the teacher gets to share this content with the students. He has control over the activity, and then the students have the capability to receive the content from the teacher on their device, and it is so I've even heard of teachers doing field trips on there, the virtual field trips. This is what NearPod looks like online. So when you go to NearPod, this is what your dashboard looks like, okay? So right here is a code, and I'll explain that a little bit more as we get into it. We have your lessons, your reports, your library, and your teacher resources. So I will walk you through this, and we will go see what it looks like in a little while. So I've got about 5 reasons why you should use NearPod in the classroom. So I'm not a sales pitch, I promise you. I'm just sharing, what I think are the best aspects of NearPod. NearPod works on any device, like I mentioned earlier, whether students have an iPad, a computer, or any other kind of tablet, or their cell phone. It's great for students that their laptop to school and the ones that are doing the remote or hybrid learning. So if you have a student at home that is connected and a student at school that is connected in the classroom, these can be running at the same time as well as the teachers. So everything is simultaneous and it's all together. And so I know that even one day, because he only has one class a day, my nephew does, and even one day he was out with my husband on an emergency call, and he had his cell phone and he used it off of that. So he didn't miss class, he was still able to participate and be active in it. And so that's one great thing about NearPod. The other great thing about NearPod is the teacher has complete control over the students' devices. Complete control. So before the lesson, the teacher provides a code for the students to join the session. The students join the session, they submit their names. The teacher is able to see it on their side. And then when all the students have joined, the teacher shares the first slide of the presentation, and then it begins the lesson. So they are only allowed to see the slide the teacher shares. This is one way to ensure that the students stay on task. If a student tries to go ahead, or if they log out of it or X out, that will immediately inform the teacher. The teacher can also pull reports on this. So if a student exits, the teacher is notified. This is also a great tool for one-on-one teachers that are working one-on-one with students, even special ed teachers that are doing, some remote or virtual learning, or just in the classroom, small group. It also supports that classroom management component and routines and procedures that we use as teachers. So another great thing about NearPod is that students can use it as a live piece. It's like they have the drawing board, they have the annotation piece, they have all these great tools that they can utilize that are in real time. So, and that was the thing that kind of sold me, was the teacher at the time told him, okay, we're going to annotate. I'm like, how are you going to annotate? Each student is going to do that, and he has the ability to see each student's work. So for example, if you're teaching a math concept, students can show how to solve the problem by drawing it out with the pan feature, or working it out, the teacher can start the problem and have the students finish it. So they're able to do this and then submit their work. The teacher has also the capability of choosing a student response to share with the other students. And like I said earlier, they can choose to put the student's name on there or not to. Whenever it's interactive, it also, you can do polls, you can do quizzes, you can do all these directly on the device. Sorry, my little pup is barking. So, but the best part of this is it's all saved in NearPod, okay? So the teacher can go back and analyze it and look at this, and the students' annotated slides are also saved in NearPod. So when you work in NearPod, and if your district does not have a subscription to it, you can always sign up for the free one, and that is the silver edition. So it limits you to what you can do, but it also gives you that feeling of, okay, is this worth the purchase or not? So the other thing with Nearpod is if you only have a few devices, you can use these devices in small groups, okay? You can use it for guided reading groups. You can use it for leveled reading groups, researching science or history projects, collaborating. There are so many different things you can do with Nearpod. You just have to think outside the box, but the sky is definitely the limit. So it averages around $100 to $120 annually if you're going to upgrade to the premium version, which I think is the gold version. So the other nice thing about this is if you upgrade, you can allow students to do their homework at their own pace. So without that teacher control. So this would be great for those pieces of reinforcement, reteaching, practice, or even studying for those quizzes or exams that may be coming up. So they would use the code at home and they would review the lesson. And I think it's a great way to prepare for those final exams or anything that, even informal or formal checks. You can add videos in there, you can add websites, and even audio, you can have them do it too. So, the last reason why so many teachers love Nearpod is the plethora of already made teacher created resources. And this is wonderful. There are tons of teacher created resources out there for Nearpod. And I can definitely see why teachers love it. If you, you can take it if you need it. The teachers will use Nearpod and they can create their own, or you can get your slideshow, because I know many teachers use slideshows, and drop it into your Nearpod, and then you will have them all listed and you just activate it. You go through and you can make it live during your Zoom, and you have that student participation. So the nice thing with Nearpod is they have a little store where you can go in there and you can get free and paid lessons for all grade levels. There's a variety of different resources. Teachers pay teachers, they have some free resources, and then they have some that are as cheap as $1, 75 cents, that you can go through that are already created, that you can go in and modify and edit. So let's go to what's next in Nearpod. The nice thing about Nearpod is that you can share it with the touch of your Google Classroom button, okay? So everything is right there in your Google Classroom. It's very simple. You launch the interactive lesson. It generates that PIN number that's 5 digits, and then you can share it in your Google Classroom. You can share it via Zoom, via the link. You click on it, it sends that Nearpod lesson to your class page and all your students, and they have immediate access to it. So to do these lessons, you can do them two ways, okay? You can do them in a Nearpod, in the Nearpod website. You can do it with a Nearpod extension, or you can create a lesson in slides yourself. So, I mean, those are the basic two ways. There's so many more others, like I just mentioned. You can drop the slides in. You can use the self-created ones. There's already themes created for you. So there's a variety of different ways that we can use these.
Cleo,
Yes.
Rebecca made a comment. This sounds like a great platform to use for flipping the class.
Yes, definitely. And I think it's just great overall. Text when you're home. And so I think the students will really enjoy it. Hold on. Okay, let me get the YouTube started.
Cleo, just so you know, you're muted, so I don't know if you're talking or not.
I don't know why it's showing this video. Maybe it's just an ad. Hold on.
Learn how to create a NearPod lesson.
Hear it, April? Thumbs
There
up?
are two ways to create a NearPod lesson.
I can hear
The
it.
first way is to create a lesson in NearPod. The second way is to create a lesson in Google Slides. Or you can also select your format in the upper right-hand corner by selecting the New tab. When creating a lesson within NearPod, you can begin by titling your lesson.
So Cleo, we can hear
Next,
it, but we can't
you can
see
add
it.
engaging and interactive content and activities
What's
by
that?
clicking on the Add Slide button.
April? Can you hear me?
Button. Our Content tab is meant to engage and teach students. Our Activities tab is meant to assess our students. You can also enhance pre-existing content by uploading your own pre-made PowerPoints, PNGs, and PDFs. You can do so by selecting any PowerPoint, PDF, or PNG from your computer drive, Google Drive, Dropbox, and OneDrive. Once uploaded, now I can NearPodize my PowerPoint. NearPodizing simply means that you're adding engaging, interactive features and activities to enhance your pre-made lesson.
So right there, I'm going to go back just a tad bit. Right here is where you can utilize these.
Hey, Cleo.
Yes.
So your screen share, what we're seeing is your PowerPoint slide. We didn't see the video.
Oh no, why didn't it share that?
I don't know. You may have to, sometimes you have to stop share and just do the one screen for the video and then stop share again and then
Yes,
start.
I will try that. Sorry, guys. I couldn't hear you if that's what you were saying earlier. Can
Yeah.
you see it? Can you see it now, April?
Yeah, I can see your screen now. Yes.
NearPod.
Yes. Mhm.
The second way is to create a lesson in Google Slides. Or you can also select your format in the upper right-hand corner by selecting the New tab. When creating a lesson within NearPod, you can begin by titling your lesson. Next, you can add engaging and interactive content and activities by clicking the slide button. Our Content tab is meant to engage and teach students. Our Activities tab is meant to assess our students.
Piece of NearPod that I had shared earlier that you can assess the students on here. So assessing them, you can use any of these resources. I think the quiz is a wonderful one. The open-ended questions, the collaborative board is great. It was one that I was sharing with you earlier where the students can go in and talk and share their ideas, and I'll briefly touch on that. There's polls, fill in the blanks, memory test. I even seen memory ones for high school science class. So there's a variety of different ways to do informal checking for understanding. And so go on. Oh, there we go, April.
I literally Googled best online life insurance.
If you took 30 students on a field trip, how many would you want with you when the bus returns?
You can also enhance pre-existing content by uploading your own pre-made PowerPoints, PNGs, and PDFs. You can do so by selecting any PowerPoint, PDF, or PNG from your computer drive, Google Drive, Dropbox, and OneDrive. Once uploaded, now I can NearPodize my PowerPoint. NearPodizing simply means that you're adding engaging, interactive features and activities to enhance your pre-made lesson.
And this is that collaborative board I was sharing with you guys earlier.
When done NearPodizing your pre-existing PowerPoint, make sure to click Save and Exit. Here's my PowerPoint that's now enhanced with all of its NearPod engaging interactive features and content. Remember, you can also create a lesson in NearPod within Google Slides. All you have to do is simply select Lesson in Google Slides, and it will walk you through step by step how to create a NearPod lesson within Google Slides. If you have any further questions, please visit nearpod.com/resources or email us at support@nearpod.com.
Okay, so that was brief. And went over the basic steps of creating your first NearPod. The nice thing about NearPod is that it works hand in hand with Canvas. So most of the state is using Canvas, and it works well with Canvas. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this document in your April, another afternoon of technology problems. So I'm going to copy and paste this document in chat, okay? This is a getting started document, and I found it to be easy and user-friendly. Posted a couple times. And it tells you step by step on how to create your first NearPod. So it tells you go in, you log in, or you register. I highly recommend a Gmail account because then everything will be connected with your G Suites, your classroom, and your slides. And once you're registered, then you can go in and begin making your NearPods. So let me post your NearPod login. And this is the NearPod page. Okay. So we're going to go look at a NearPod. And again, this is what the dashboard looks like. And let's go check out NearPod. Can everybody see my screen for NearPod? Thumbs up? Got that, April? No? I've never had this problem, April, where it stops my screen every time I share it. I have to reshare. I wonder if it's a setting with the technology stuff.
You may have a setting, or it may need to be updated soon.
Yeah, I may need an update. You may be right, even though I did it not long ago. Okay, so this is what NearPod looks like, okay? So this is the overall dashboard once you're in. So once in here, you go to Create in the right-hand corner. Okay, you can also go to Create right here. You can create the lesson, a video, or your Google Slides. Whenever creating lessons in Google Slides, you can do this once it's connected to your Gmail, okay? So I'm going to go to lesson. I'm going to create a lesson. So to keep in mind when you're creating a lesson in here, each piece that you create is part of the total lesson. So we're going to put practice lesson 2. Okay, there's the settings here, so you can go through the settings. You can give the subject area. You can also do the description if you would like. And it might be easier just to help you with organizing. So you're going to add content and activities. When you're making it from here, the NearPod dashboard, you have this content available to you. So, I mean, you could even do simulators, you could do audio, slideshows. Any of these are available. So I'm just going to add a slide for right now. And the slides come up with different themes. So you can choose a different theme. I think I'm going to choose this theme today. I'm going to click how I'm going to focus on dossiers again because it was easy to do earlier to do a dossier. Then I'm going to add my content here. So the content that I want is a file. And I'm going to come right here and add that. So here's the file I'm going to put in here. It is just a concept map for dossiers, how to do a dossier. It's an overall concept map. Now I'm going to save and exit. I have to do that at every slide, okay? Save this. Now it's going to save my slide. Now what it does is it makes up a whole session or a whole lesson by doing this. I'm going to go ahead and make another slide. And this one is going to be resources. And then I'm going to actually grab a resource out of my Google. Maybe I'll do text. Let me do everything online. And when you're going through this, of course, just like everything else, takes a little bit of practice, you know, to get used to it and just to know where everything is. The other thing is when you're going through this and you're practicing and making your slides, you can also upload like web pages and make them, like upload a web page and say, go read this page, go read the story on this page, or do this or do that. And then provide the next page as a prompt or as a poll or a quiz. Okay. So I'm going to save and exit this. Now I'm going to change it up a little and I'm going to add content or activities. Instead of adding a slide, I'm going to add a video. Okay. And I have, you can create your own interactive video. You can start with one of their videos. You can upload a video. You can use YouTube. Okay, so any of these will walk you through how to do a video. But I am going to upload a video. My video is going to just be a video from training. Oh, we had this problem earlier. Maybe this one won't. Oh, that was too big too. So I guess I did read earlier that it has to be under 3 minutes. So I think that was the issue. Let me see here. Let's go back and do a different one. So keep that in mind. Has to be under 3 minutes for your videos, okay? So let's go back to our NearPod, and here's our practice lesson. I want to edit it. I'm going to continue working in this. So let's add an activity. So I'm going to add a collaborative board. The topic is going to be dossiers. What changes do you want to see in the dossier process? Since I am the dossier coordinator, that's always good feedback. I'll choose that, save it. So this is where the students can see their text. They can add more information to it. Sorry, guys. And we will add another activity. We'll do a poll. And in the poll, we're going to say, yes, very familiar. No, not at all. How familiar? Okay. Go to save for that one. Okay, so here is my presentation. Okay, I can continue to add to it. I can move things around. I'm going to click preview so I can see what the students are going to see. So this is what students will see on their side. Okay, there's the poll. Let's go to the very beginning, slide 1. So this is where I would start by teaching them go through that process, and then I would share resources. These are links they can go to. I'd ask them to maybe go look at the links and give me feedback from each link, at least 3 things of what they saw in each one. I would make that as another slide. Then I would come here and I say, what changes do you want to see in the dossier portal? And maybe they say speed. Maybe they would say wait time shorter, or more trainings. Okay, so these are all being posted for every student to see as you're working through this. So the nice thing is that students can go in there and like the comments anybody can that's participating in the NearPod. Our students are so used to seeing these. They go through, it's immediate for them when they see that heart or the star or the thumbs up. They see it in Instagram, they see it in Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook. That's their connection. That's that technology component of like, oh, if you agree with them, give them a heart, or do you like it, So these may be things that they agree with. Now, the choice if they want to show the students' names here or not. Most of the time, well, that one time in particular that I was watching my nephew's teacher do it, there were no names projected. So, and I agreed with that to a certain extent, depending on what you're doing. And then once they got in there, he said, okay, I still have 2 students that have not answered. And, with virtual learning right now, the students may be asleep and not be participating. So that teacher is going to wait and wait and wait until that engagement comes up to where he wants it, or until they are paying attention. And so, the students, that peer pressure, they start chatting, come on, guys, let's go, so to where they are all participating and engaged in the lesson. And so I thought that was interesting to see how they all participated and how he would let them know, I'm 90% of everybody, or I need 2 more people. And then the students would pop this up. Now, he would also say stuff like, okay, now I want you to add to that and add to that. So there might be 50 or 60 of these little notebooks on there, or these little pads on there, to where students are just answering. And so then they're reading and they're seeing them pop up. So it does keep them engaged. It's a great way to do this. Polls, I've also seen teachers do Kahoots. So how familiar are you with the dossier process? Yes, very familiar. So then you're done. This is what the student would see, okay? Now, if I launch this, save and exit, you can always preview it where you're creating your NearPod. So I save and exit. Excuse me. Now, my NearPod is right here. I can get this and drag it to a folder. So I already have a folder called dossier, so I'm going to drag it in there. Okay, I also have this one here called in-text citations for 11th grade class. So I'm going to just go ahead and pop this one up and show you guys. So I would like everybody to go to Control copy to this link, okay? Link is posted in the chat. And here is the password. And that is posted in the chat. Go put the password in once you are there. The nice thing about this is you can launch it in a Zoom meeting and the kids will get on, automatically pops up first thing they do. You can copy the link, you can email this, you can pop it in your Google Classroom, you can even use it on Remind and Microsoft Teams and Google Meet. So there's a variety of different ways that students can access this as well. So once you're in here, I'll be able to see right here on the bottom how many participants have joined, okay? So once you have joined, I will know. So right now I have 0 participants. Give you guys a few more minutes. Are we having a hard time getting into it? Are we good? There we go. Okay, I've got 2 participants. I will go ahead and get started. Thanks, Joseph. So we're going to go ahead and go in here. And this is where we're going to start with citing resources. So we've got some fun activities that you can do. Let's get started with your vocabulary. So let's match the word with a definition. So we're going to view the pairs. Right here are the pairs. You can go through and match the word with the definition. Okay, I'm going to hide the student names. And we can go through and move on to text citations. Okay. Classroom results, if you got any matched. Go through, no answers, and we'd go through and you would have participation, how confident you feel about understanding your text citations. So if somebody answered these, you can go ahead and just make a guess. Okay. And then, so somebody's answered, so I have 33% I feel comfortable with, and 33% I need more practice. I can share that with you guys. I can unshare, and we can go to the last one, and that would be the end of your NearPod. Okay, so that's just a basic example of what it would look like on your side as a student. Now, I grabbed this lesson in particular from the NearPod library. So the NearPod library has a variety of lessons, different grades, and content areas. You can look for lessons, activities, and videos in here. Always click the left-hand corner NearPod icon, and then you have your teacher resources, okay? So the teacher resources, there's webinars, there's teacher support, there's all kinds of different things on here for the teachers that will help you with NearPod in particular. So I'm going to go back and share my screen one last time. And I'm going to share some resources for you. So when I looked up some resources for NearPod, there were so many out there. One of them in particular was NearPod on Facebook. So, and it wasn't just regular NearPod. There was NearPod for Spanish teachers, NearPod for fourth grade teachers, NearPod for ESL, NearPod for SPED teachers. And they're groups, and they go in there and they share lessons and ideas and how they utilize stuff, and they share their resources. Because what do we teach our kids? Sharing is caring. You know, coming from an elementary teacher, we always share, we share, we share. So that's what teachers do best. You know, I always used to tell my teachers, you know, we work smarter, not harder, because if we have it, let's just use it. The other place I found resources and a lot of support was Instagram, a NearPod, and then the NearPod blog. Okay, so the NearPod blog has a lot of information. It has all the updates, anything that's new and upcoming, all that support that you need, and everything is also available there. So that is the end of our near. I thank you guys all for coming this afternoon. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yes, I believe April posted it. She may post it again, April, for a copy of the slides.
Yes, let me post that really quickly. I'm sorry, I got
Okay.
pulled into a different direction. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah, it's been a Monday to
So
me, and it's Wednesday.
I know. So this is where you can find the PowerPoint. It's shared with you that Cleo created. And like I said, other PowerPoint presentations and recorded sessions. And the other thing that if you would like to receive a certificate for today, let me share another link with you real quickly. So you can fill out the survey, tell us how we did, and in a few minutes, you will receive a certification or certificate of attendance. Excuse me. Gosh, I can't talk this afternoon.
I've been like that all day. So, the nice thing about completing that survey, you guys, excuse me, as teachers, it's so great because you can also use it as your domain, and one of your domains, excuse me. Okay. I just posted the blog website in there for anybody that wants that resource. And then there's the Instagram one and then the Facebook one, but those ones are pretty simple to find. So, but the NearPod.com blog is, I went ahead and dropped it in there too. I'll put my name in here. If anybody has any questions or comments or anything else, or if they like to reach out to me for anything, please feel free to do so. And appreciate you guys attending this afternoon. Such a beautiful day outside. It's hard to be working inside, and I'm sure the kiddos have spring fever like crazy, even though I know, even though their schedules are kind of crazy, they still have to get spring fever. It was the hardest time of year for me. So I would just teach outside a lot. I loved it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So I don't think there's any, and we already asked if there's any questions, and we're all good?
We're all good.
Okay.
Thank you all for attending. I appreciate it.
Cleo.
Yes. Thank you, Susan.
Playing in NearPod. And Susan, Miss Cluthy, follow up with us because I know that you will in fact do it.
Okay.
If you get into a pinch, reach out to Cleo. If Cleo can't help you, I'll help you.
Sure.
Whoever's available, because we have kind of a little team, tech bits team that we work with.
Okay. Well, I am feeling more ambitious as the end of the school year nears.
That's when we get that, little bit of motivation at the end. I don't know where it comes from, but it does.
Yes.
We decide to be creative.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Did you have a question, Rebecca? Oh, I can't hear you, hon.
Oh, there we go. If I could mute myself. That's been really wishes. Thank you very much. This was great.
Oh, thanks.
Well, yeah. I'll be talking to you and Amanda about dossier. I've got mine coming up. So
okay, let us know. We're ready. We're busy right now, but we're ready.
I've got all my teaching and stuff done and my lessons stuff. It's just like
when do you want to submit by? What's your plan?
I'm thinking about July if that's possible.
Yep. Yeah. July 15th, the dossier portal opens.
Yeah.
If you pass before October 1st, you're good.
I'm thinking about I've already started getting everything together, so I just have to do the typing out part.
Yes, that's perfect. If you need the templates, let me know. Just email me and I'll send them to you.
Okay, I have the guidelines. Is there a specific template though?
There is a template. Did you get my email? Or let's see. Yeah, I put my email in there. I'll put it one more time. Just email me really quick and I can send those to you so you can start typing into those templates, and they're very simple.
That's even so good because I was using the outline and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? That'll be
they're Word document. I just email you the Word document and you just type right into it, and they're easy.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad.
You're welcome.
And this NearPod is really cool. I haven't seen it because
It is really cool. And like I stated earlier, I didn't know much about it. I'd heard very little about it. And then our nephew has been living with us since like June, just working with my husband and going to school one class a day. And his AP teacher was using this. And I'm like, NearPod, what's that? So I'd stand there and watch him and, see what they did. And the very first time I was blown away, I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Because
I like the same way. I love being techie, and I hadn't seen it because I've been jamming and all that stuff. But
right. So I was really impressed. And then, he was pretty, like, okay, we're not going on. And I'm like, Dakota, did you answer that? Because you're not asleep. He's like, yes. I'm like, okay, good. So it was
Okay, well, I'll send you that email